So we have Bonnie who is going to ask a question on screen. So go ahead, Bonnie.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you so much, Naomi, for being with us here in Windsor. You said something tonight that I have not heard. And I realized when you said it that I've never heard it said out loud. And it wasn't, we must end neoliberalism. It was, we could end neoliberalism. And there's something really powerful in that could. And I wanted to ask you if you would say a little bit more about how do we do it? What are your thoughts?
How do we do it? Well, thank you for that. And I really do believe that we can, which is different than saying that we will. Um, and I think that I have to say I am really inspired after having spent a couple of years in the U.S. And I realize that that sounds very weird, having come from uh, a country in that state. But I was really inspired by how many people were going into politics themselves, how many young people were just putting themselves up at the local level, at the subnational level and federally, very young people. And just taking that risk, but also people who weren't going into politics themselves, but were like on the outside and interfacing with it. So if I look at a group like Sunrise, which is a youth-led climate movement, it has chapters in middle schools and high schools, and of course on university campuses. Sunrise has put the Green New Deal on the national stage. They occupied Nancy Pelosi's office in 2018 with a vision that frontally attacked neoliberalism. Because what is neoliberalism? It is a war against the New Deal. It is a counter-revolution against the idea of an activist state. It was, in the shock doctrine, I told the story of how it was, hatched in certain think tanks with the help of certain economists and exported globally, right? Um, and so it's very strategic to call it a Green New Deal, and because it strikes at the heart of the neoliberal project. And so it is an inside-outside approach. It takes those movements pushing. It takes people on the inside, like AOC, 29 years old at the time, before she'd even been sworn in, going into the occupation of the future Speaker of the House's office and giving them the high five and saying, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to write the resolution." So in Canada, we just have to do this. And I think we have some examples of sort of squad-like figures now in the NDP. I was asked about the NDP. I mean, I love Matthew Green, Leah Gazan. Like, I think we're developing our own squad. And I think that we're seeing this, in the NDP, in the Greens, and it's in that interplay is all I can say. And the really, really bold demand. And you can ask about like how I feel about the leadership of the NDP, and I'll say what I say, but it's not coming from leadership. It's coming from like first time, first elected, just elected, not waiting their turn, going in there, going big. They've changed the game. They've changed the game. Now you have Chuck Schumer, like I said, majority leader in the Senate, talking about essentially the Green New Deal on television last night because they did this. They forced his hand. He is a neoliberal politician who's not talking like a neoliberal anymore. And neither is Joe Biden. You know, it's hard for him, I'm sure, because he really is a neoliberal. So it's an interesting moment. And, I being part of the Sanders campaign was maybe the best political experience of my life. Um, and I'll always be grateful, for having had that bodily experience of being in stadiums with him and AOC and tens of thousands of everyday people, multiracial, multi-generational, cross-sectoral, who were so ready for it. So I will never believe again that these ideas are unpopular. I was in Las Vegas when Bernie won. Vegas, when he swept the strip, right? The shiniest, fakest casino capitalism place of them all, the Citadel. And the people who scrubbed those slot machines rose up and said, no way, we want Medicare for all and a living wage and a Green New Deal, And if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere.